Kishimoto has come up with the title 2 Blue Vortex for the timeskip part of Boruto. While there are plenty of assumptions for what this title could mean, the one that makes the most sense is the most unexpected one. The story of timeskip could revolve around the blue-eyed Uzumaki siblings, and what this means will completely blow your mind. The second part of Boruto has been given a really mysterious title for the darker side of the story. The 2 Blue Vortex could refer to many things like the Uzumaki brothers Boruto and Kawaki, who are the main spotlight of the show. However, there is nothing blue in Kawaki's character. He has been represented with the color red from the very beginning. If we say the omnipotence made him Boruto, and that's why he has now been denoted with blue, that won't make sense either, since Boruto would be the red guy in that scenario. Some say it's about Boruto and Aida, who might get along in the long run, while some assume it's about the Blue Eyes prophecy. I would have agreed with the Blue Eyes one. The only problem is that Boruto has lost one of his eyes, and it was explicitly mentioned by Momoshiki. This brings us down to Boruhima theory, and the thing which acts as a strong basis to this one is the word vortex apparently meaning Uzumaki. So the title meaning 2 Blue Uzumakis would make a lot of sense, considering the other blue Uzumaki is Himawari. This means Kishimoto has planned a really humongous timeskip role for her. But are there actually any other clues which hint at the same? Well, in the very beginning of the show, she was able to knock out Naoto and Kurama with just a single hit. This is actually absurd, cause she is just a child at this point and her strength is far beyond her father. Some people say this scene was made for comical reasons, but when we get to see more of Himawari's Byakugan in the show, a whole different side of the story gets unveiled. When she deactivates the Byakugan in the anime, it seems like she got rid of her possession. The Otsutsuki potential in Himawari's character was just a joke in the community until chapter 77 of the manga. This was the time when Kishimoto teased some unreal prowess of Himawari in the story. The most powerful cyborg of the verse, Daemon, sensed some immense power from her. This panel went underrated but was absolutely a game changer for the show. It had been almost confirmed that she will play a very important role in the timeskip, cause she literally frightened the vessel of an Otsutsuki god. Now with the reveal of the timeskip's title, it's pretty much clear that she will have a huge amount of spotlight in the second part of the story. She could have a legacy as interesting as Boruto, and there are a couple of possibilities which could come true in the timeskip. I will also be discussing the reason of her immense strength that was sensed by Daemon, so stay tuned. In order to understand the relevance of Himawari in the 2 Blue Vortex, we must first figure out whether she has been affected by omnipotence or not. When Sarada remained immune from Aida's spell, I thought her father being Indra's reincarnation must be the reason behind it. But when Sasuke himself got fooled by omnipotence, this lowered the chances of Himawari's immunity. And there's a theory that I have recalled many times, explaining her Kaguya connection. The fusion of Hogoroma and Hamura's chakra must have led to the birth of a being who's as powerful as their mother. So if that's the reason for Himawari's power, then was it valid for Daemon to freak out so much? He has the powers of the strongest GT in the verse, so he shouldn't have been afraid of an Otsutsuki in human form. Well, this is where things get interesting. We know that Daemon is powerful than Code, and Code was obviously more powerful than Jigen, but it was never mentioned that Limitless Code is stronger than Ishiki. This means the powers of cyborgs cannot be compared to raw Otsutsukis, no matter the circumstances. So does this make Himawari more stronger than Daemon? Well, I will answer that question in a moment with another mind-blowing theory. But before that, let's assume it's only the pure Otsutsukis who are immune from omnipotence, and let's try to figure out Himawari's role in the timeskip. If she was indeed immune from Aida's spell, it would have made her life really confusing and difficult in Konoha. Not to mention, it would have also made the plot really boring. So keeping in mind that Himawari is immune from omnipotence, her biggest goal as of now must be to eliminate Boruto and avenge the death of her parents. She could join the Boruto death squad in order to bring the traitor of Konoha to justice. The reason I think she will be filled with so much hatred in the timeskip is because she was a totally different person before. This hint from the Minato manga, which says a vortex turns into a spiral, symbolically refers to growth, development or transformation of a character. This means Himawari will be the complete opposite of what she was in the pre-timeskip era. So will a plot similar to Sasuke and Itachi's story again take place in the Naruto verse? Well, there is something hidden in the 2 Blue Vortex title which says otherwise. Mito Uzumaki said in the Minato manga, the search of love can turn a vortex into a spiral. This means love, an element that has been used in majority of Boruto plots, could play a huge role in the relationship of the Uzumaki siblings. No matter the reality has been twisted, the blood relation of Boruto and Himawari won't change and she will eventually find the truth. Maybe the omnipotence would work a bit differently on Himawari and she won't be able to feel feel the same brotherly bond with Kawaki that she felt with Boruto. If she is actually related to Kaguya, then her legacy with Kawaki could parallel the original Otsutsuki lore. Himawari might end up doing the same thing to Kawaki that Kaguya did to Ishiki while reconciliating with her real brother. Coming back to the question, what made Himawari so formidable that even Daemon was afraid of her? Well, if you remember the vows of Himawari, which was symbolic to a vessel that got broken by Kawaki, there is a chance of Himawari being the vessel of another Otsutsuki. So could Daemon defeat Himawari if she turns out to have Otsutsuki potential? Well, there is a theory which explains why Daemon was so frightened of Hima, and it has nothing to do with Kaguya. It could be that the children of Naruto were symbiotes of Shibai Otsutsuki who chose them for their special Otsutsuki lineage. Connecting this theory to the previous one, there could be some potential connection between Shibai and Kaguya too. Maybe Shibai chose Boruto as his own symbiote, and her sister being the nearest to Kaguya, who could be his daughter, explains her immense Otsutsuki power. While we don't have enough evidence to consider this a blunt possibility, the role of Himawari in the time skip on the other hand is more interesting than what we think. So there are 3 phases that I think she will be going through in the second part of the series. The first phase would be the post-traumatic phase, in which she would learn to cope up with the mental pain of losing her own parents. It might go on for a couple of months. After that, she would finally seek vengeance with devastating anger. Kawaki would play a huge role in manipulating her, and this angry phase would lead her to train really hard for the sake of revenge. The final phase would be the time when she would unlock some frightening powers and would become a free-on-site type of shinobi, just like her grandfather. The legacy of Naruto being carried out by his 2 children in the second part of the show would be really interesting. When Himawari would meet Boruto for the first time, it would be a really emotional moment for her big brother. While she might not realize initially that she is going against her own kin, it would be really heart-wrenching when the reality would hit her. I think she's going to train with Daemon in the time skip. This means Boruto will also need to be really powerful in order to take her down. I even feel like she would take a road similar to Sasuke to regain her faith in Boruto. While her memories are gonna remain disrupted, all the pictures and other clues will force her to believe in Boruto and betray Kawaki. Sarada could lend her a helping hand when she makes this hard decision. I even feel like a plot twist could pop in the show, where the love of Hima for her family would reverse the effects of omnipotence on her. It might sound a bit unrealistic, but there are a few reasons for me to consider this a blunt possibility. First and foremost, Himawari thinks her parents are dead, so if Boruto would reveal to her that they are still alive and she could help him to bring them back, it would arise a strong desire in her to follow his plan. Secondly, she seems to have a connection to the Otsutsuki god, cause her power frightened the subject of the same deity. As we know, omnipotence requires a strong desire to activate, so Himawari firmly believing in the words of Boruto could make her escape the divine spell. But I personally prefer the scenario where she would relate more to Boruto than Kawaki and will eventually rekindle her sibling bond with him. She might be given the mission of taking him down, but the Vortex of Love will have some other plans for her. The final mission of the Uzumaki siblings would be to get their parents back from Kawaki's dimension. They would need to persuade Kawaki into redemption, but if that won't work, then they will have to kill him and get the Dharmagan from some other source, which is of course the Otsutsuki world. By having both the dojutsus of Shibai, Boruto will fulfill his predestined fate as the chosen one. But before all that, we'll need to realize the prophecy of Toneri that will grant him the ultimate power to deal with every nuisance. So will Toneri make a comeback in the Boruto time skip, or will someone else carry out the prophecy in the manga? Find the answer to this question in this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.